To keep or not to keep?
Hey guys, welcome back in. I am Justin.
I'm Leigh.
As you guys saw by that intro, it's been 2 weeks and it's time for yet another To Keep or Not to Keep. This time, Lee's back. She was sick last time, plus we hadn't had a whole lot of watches together. This time, still don't have a whole ton together, but more than we did last time. So I've also got a huge stack that I've been able to watch at work. We're going through kind of a slow period. My job, a lot depends on the weather. So we'll go.
All those.
Yeah, we can talk about that. So anyways, I guess I'll start us out, I guess. First up here, Miners Massacre. This is one of those straight to DVD. We'll probably never, ever have a Blu-ray films that we picked up. And so the big thing here with this is... I don't know. I liked this one pretty good. This one is a lot like another one that we're going to go over. Almost identical as far as like the look of everything. But basically you have this gold miner and he was just an ass. And so basically he winds up killing this girl. He kind of goes through and just has his way with his town. And he basically just hoards all this gold in a mine. And all these years later these kids come up and they're looking for gold. And when they take it, they kind of awaken him, and he's back for his gold. And so it's basically just a slasher film about that. The look of him was pretty good. The acting in this one is subpar. I mean, it's a straight to DVD independent film. Overall though, I did enjoy it. Don't know that I would ever watch it again, but I will go ahead and vote to keep this one.
For another, or am I going?
I can go for another. Well, yeah, I'll go for another. Next up, Robo Warriors. So this was a Vinegar Syndrome. This has James Remar in it. I don't know. I liked this one fine. It was an okay movie. Basically, James Remar's character, an alternative alien race, I guess you could call them, has kind of come onto Earth, and they're trying to take it over. And basically, they do fight each other, but basically it's all comes down to these big robots that they build and fight it out. And James Remar's character kind of goes into hiding, and he's kind of known as he's almost like a legend at this point. And you've got this young boy, and he kind of goes and he finds James Remar, and he basically helps him build a robot to take on this alien race. I'm not real big into robot films. They're just not really something that I'm real big into. I don't know. It's hard for me to get into them. And so this one, the acting was fine. The story was actually pretty cool. But would I ever watch this one again? Probably not. And value-wise, this holds a little more value than Miners Massacre. So this one, for me, vote to sell.
Proud of you. Vinegar Syndrome. Gone. Okay. Teen Wolf 2. I'm pretty sure I probably saw this a very long time ago and just didn't really remember a lot about it. But Jason Bateman, was the wolf in this one. Definitely, not that he was a bad actor in it, but definitely no Michael J. Fox. There's just no comparison to the original with Michael J. Fox. So basically he goes to college this time around, and he really tries to keep the wolf inside and not let him show. And he gets put into they're on a scholarship for boxing instead of, or is it boxing or fighting? It's boxing. Mm-hmm. Instead of basketball. So, a little bit different, but...
Well, him and Michael J. are not the same character in this one. Did you not pick up on that?
No, I guess I didn't.
Yeah, they're not the same because...
But it's been a really long time since I've seen either one.
If you're, the only reason I remember that is because...
It's the uncle.
It is the uncle, but when he goes into the gym, and he goes in to see his boxing coach, and you remember he has the picture of Michael J. Fox as the wolf shooting basketball. And he goes, "Oh, so you're from whatever town that is?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, I can't do what my cousin did."
You're right. Yeah.
So they're not, they kind of try to portray it. I guess it's like the wolf runs in the family.
In the family.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway. It's, it's no original Teen Wolf. But it was still a good movie. Still a lot of laughs, a lot of fun. Still a lot of comedy.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. No, I agree. This one definitely no Teen Wolf. The wolf didn't look as good. The story I didn't think was as fun. It's kind of just basically the exact same thing as the first one. He turns into the wolf and gets there. Yeah.
Instead of
overall, though, I still enjoyed it enough to do a vote to keep. It's kind of a completionist thing. It's not a terrible movie, but definitely no part one. But I still personally vote to keep.
Okay.
And it's a Scream Factory, so it's a good ad for that. It's got the slip. My next one, I'm going to swap these. I said that I had another one that was kind of the same, and that is Jolly Roger. The Massacre at Cutter's Cove. So Jolly Roger the pirate and the miner in the Miner's Massacre actually look a lot alike. And Miner's Massacre, in my opinion, is the far superior film. It's better acted. The effects and everything are better. And the music in this one, you can tell it's all like techno beats and stuff that were definitely off of like a editing software from the early 2000s. It's not, I don't know, the music's weird in it. But basically this one's kind of the same way. There is a underlying story of the founders of Cutter's Cove, and this pirate, Jolly Roger, is kind of awakened, and basically he's coming back trying to collect 16 heads for his dead man's chest. And that's kind of the whole ordeal of it. He's taking and killing the ancestors of the founders of Cutter's Cove. There's a whole underlying story with it. Again, the acting in this one's pretty bad. This is an asylum film, so we've kind of talked about those before, how they're kind of hit or miss. For me, though, again, another one that it wasn't terrible, and for now I'm going to vote to keep this one. It doesn't hold much value, so it's not like if I voted to sell it, I'm going to make, 10, 15. I would make probably $5 at most. So this one I'm going to vote to keep for now, and we'll see what happens kind of when we do maybe like a shelf update or something like that. But for now, vote to keep.
Okay, am I going?
Yep, go ahead.
Alright, next one is Until Dawn. I don't really think there's any notable actors or actresses in this, is there?
No, just the guy. And I can't even think of his name.
Yeah.
The gas station attendant.
Yep.
I don't remember his name.
Anyway. It was a good movie. It was different. It was very much, we actually had the video game and had played it first, but basically these kids, a group of teenagers go looking for one of the teenagers' sister has been missing for a year, and so they decide to go try to retrace her steps and find her. They stop at a gas station on the way in, and the gas station attendant tells them that there's lots of people that go missing just down the way in a place called Growers something.
I don't remember the name of the town, but yeah.
They get stuck in this rainstorm, and they really, hesitate not to turn around, but they decide to keep going. And they finally get to a break where it's one of those things where the rain just stops. Like, all of a sudden, it just stops, and all of a sudden they see this welcome center. So they go in, and they start looking around, and, one of the teenagers finds this room, and all these missing people pages are posted on a bulletin board. Another girl finds a guest book, and people have signed their names multiple times. Well, she sees this thing on the wall. It's like one of those hourglasses where the sand comes through. And long story short, every time it turns, something comes after them. And so these teenagers continue to die over and over every night until they're either going to turn into something else after so many nights, and I don't think it ever gave a definitive number of nights.
I think each time, because I think it's the amount of times their names were signed in the book.
Maybe.
Because it said something about that in there.
But the only way to escape was basically to survive the night. So it was very, very interesting. A lot of different takes. They didn't die the same way every time. So every night was different, and overall it was a pretty good film.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was different. It's definitely a Groundhog horror film, Groundhog's Day. You know, a lot of there's been other ones, Happy Death Day and stuff like that. But this one's done pretty good. It's got some decent gore and stuff in it. The way that they die are pretty imaginative. There's a scene where they drink some water and some things happen. I won't give it away since it is a relatively new film, but that was pretty imaginative. I didn't see that coming. I mean, overall, I enjoyed it. It is no video game. The video game is almost like a movie itself in the way that it was made. So I get them not wanting to get like Hayden Panettiere and all them and actually make the video game into a movie. I can understand that, but I feel like it almost would have been more cool if they had it. But there are some things that kind of allude at the end to where maybe one day eventually we may get that. I don't know if that's what they were alluding to or not, but this one does not take place in the snow like the video game, and at the very end there's a little snippet where there is some stuff in the snow. So I don't know, we may potentially get that, I don't know. Regardless though, I enjoyed it. Vote to keep.
Okay.
Alrighty, next up for me is a TerraVision. This is Arbor Day. So this film was terrible, but terrible in a good, campy way. Leigh would have hated this one, so I watched this one by myself. TerraVision's another one of those, kind of like Vinegar Syndrome. I get a ton of enjoyment out of them. Leigh's like, this is stupid. But basically, Arbor Day is this husband and wife, and his wife is clearly played by a man. I don't know if they couldn't find another woman or not. But they take their son into the woods on Arbor Day and basically are attacked by a bear and killed. And so the son just goes into this catatonic state where he goes into an asylum, and years later on Arbor Day he winds up escaping. And the crazy thing is, this sunflower here on the front, that is his mask that he dons. It's legit a huge ass sunflower on his face, and he basically goes in and he kills all of these kids that are basically partying, you know, smoking and drinking at this house. He kills all of them with garden tools. It is extremely stupid. There's a cameo where the bear comes back towards the end. It's extremely stupid, but it's one of those. It's definitely falls under the category of so bad it's good. And for me, I enjoyed it enough to keep it. It's definitely worth a rewatch. This is definitely one I'll be vouching for Carl to get when we see TerraVision and we see Ryan at another convention, because I think even Carl would enjoy it. It's so bad it's good. Acting's terrible, kills are terrible, but there's just something about it that made it, and it just gave it that certain 80s shot on video spark, and I enjoyed it. So for me, Arbor Day, vote to keep.
And that's a daisy, not a sunflower.
Oh, sorry, daisy.
Yeah.
Sunflowers have the yellow. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know my flowers, I'm sorry. Continue on.
Alright, next up we have The Slasher Nurse. I think you told me you made this, but I don't remember. Slasher
Nurse is made by Dave Kerr, and this is actually entered into the Scarefest Film Festival. It will play Saturday. Again, we will be at Scarefest this weekend, so if you're there, definitely go check this film out on Saturday. It will be playing. So,
definitely low budget. Not some of the best acting I've seen, but not some of the worst. I don't know. It was okay for me. I mean, it wasn't a terrible film. It was definitely, I don't know. It wasn't necessarily far-fetched per se, but I just feel like the way that it was done, it could have been done a lot better. But that's my opinion. Basically, this girl gets, at a young age, her and her friend go to this house that has been evicted and nobody lives there. They don't realize that it's on someone's actual property that they own, and they get spooked and they run off. But one of the girls gets locked in. It's a joke with their friends, and they lock her in a chest. And they supposedly unlocked it for her to get out. Well, when her brother starts looking for her later that night, they realize that she never got out of the chest. So they go back to find her. She is alive. But it royally messed her up. And so she went to a mental type institution. But yet, I don't really understand. I guess they had like free, they weren't like locked up in rooms all the time. So they had some, freedom to get out and move around or whatever. Long story short, her friends that are still sane from everything that went down go on a trip, and I don't want to give too much away because there's a really big twist at the end. But let's just say she escapes from the institution and seeks revenge for everybody that was involved in that prank.
Yep. I like it. I like Dave Kerr's films.
Does have Felissa Rose in it a little bit.
Felissa Rose, Brian Brimmer's in this as well. I like Dave Kerr's films. He did Bloody Summer Camp? I love that. I've actually got part 2 ordered whenever that does ship off the crowdfunder. He's done other Slasher Nurse films, and this is actually like a complete redo because the first Slasher Nurse film he did was pretty bad. And they actually wound up putting a budget into this one. They did a crowdfunder, and they raised like over $100,000, I think, to make this film. And I mean, overall, I mean, the effects are, I mean, they're pretty decent for what they are. I enjoyed it for what it was, and I will always get Dave Kerr's films at least to support him. Like I said, there are a few that I haven't liked, but this one I did. So Slasher Nurse for me is vote to keep. Next two I will lump together, and that is the Texas Chainsaw 4Ks from Arrow Video. So this is Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003 and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre The Beginning from 2006. A lot of people hate on both of these, and to those people I say, you're stupid. I love these films. I always have, and I think it's probably because of my age. I connected with these a little bit more. I remember going to see Texas Chainsaw 03 with my mom and dad at the drive-in and being scared to death because the drive-in was surrounded by woods. So, like, again, you're like, in 2003, I would have been 9. So I'm 9 years old sitting in a car with Leatherface running after Jessica Biel with a chainsaw, and you've got all these woods that kind of surround you. And then I didn't see The Beginning when it came out. I wouldn't see it till much later. But again, I like the background and the story that they give Leatherface. Leatherface looks a little different in this one. And again, everyone wants to compare it and they want to say, well, it's not the 70s version. Of course it's not the 70s version. Horror had changed. They changed these films. They changed the story. They adapted it. And the directors made it their own. And some people can't seem to get over that. And I mean, that's your own personal preference. But for me, I super enjoy both of these. The 4K transfers look absolutely amazing. And these two are definitely going to be highly looked at when it comes to our end of the year, top 5 releases of the year or whatever that we will do at the end of this year. These two will definitely be looked at to go into that. I don't know if they'll make it or not, but absolutely love these. These are beautiful. Super glad to have them in the collection. So for me, vote to keep.
Are you doing that episode on your own?
Nope. No, we'll do it at the end of the year. We always do that. We did it last year too. Alrighty, had to reset the camera. Lee's up next with yet another one.
Alright, this one is gang related. It's got James Belushi, Tupac. I think it was his last film before he passed. Dennis Quaid.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's basically Belushi and Tupac are partners. They're detectives, but they're dirty detectives. And they get involved in some things. They start killing people to make some extra money. I think Tupac is involved in some drug related, where he owes that drug dealer some money. I don't know that he was using. I think it was more like selling or being involved in collecting. But it didn't go into a great detail about that. But overall, I mean, it was pretty good. I mean, basically, they're trying to cover their tracks in every case. They end up committing a murder, and it is actually, I think it's an FBI agent or...
it's undercover. Yeah,
undercover agent. And so they quickly are trying to cover their tracks and figure out who to pin the murder on. So it was very interesting. It had a lot of different characters that played a role that, I guess to kind of tie up loose ends would be a good way to put it without giving the whole story away. But long story short, they do find someone to pin the murder on. It's a homeless individual, and so he doesn't remember who he is, and so they basically bait him and tell him who he is, and try to make him remember that evening and remember pulling the trigger and remember all these things. And so a lot of the movie is based off of building that. And then, you know, in the end, everything kind of comes to fruition. So, yeah.
I enjoyed it for what it was. My personal opinion is it's a little long. I think they really could have. I mean, this is, what was it, an hour and 45 minutes or something?
That middle
like
part,
that?
they definitely could have.
Yes, because the middle part, honestly, is just a whole bunch of Tupac and James Belushi kind of going back and forth, because Tupac has a conscience for what they've done, and James Belushi does not. Mm-hmm. And so the whole middle part is just basically them in different scenes bickering back and forth. But aside from that, I mean, it's a pretty fun film for what it is. Mm-hmm. And it is from Cinematograph, from Vinegar Syndrome. So again, kind of another expensive title. So I mean, for me, I would vote to keep it off that. Don't know that we'll ever watch it again, and it may be one that, again, when we go through the shelves and kind of, you know, start picking out some stuff, it may be one that doesn't last. But for me, for this exact moment in time, I vote to keep.
You're going to keep all these, aren't you?
Everything in your stack.
You've gotten rid of one.
We're fixing to get rid of two, because the next one is Cannibal Comedian. This is from Scream Team Releasing. And so, again, we went over that in the collection update. Was going to buy this one at Horror Hound. They actually had this one, but they didn't have Coffin Tooth, so I just wound up ordering both of them. I watched this one on Tubi. I didn't even actually know that it was on there until I was scrolling one day at work. And basically what this is you have this guy, and he wants to be a comedian, but he during the day sells meatballs, like meatball subs, out of like a traveling cart. And basically he kidnaps men and women, and that's what his meatballs are made out of. And the ones that he doesn't kill, or before he kills them, I should say, he locks them basically in his basement, and he gives them a comedy show, because that's how he's trying to fine-tooth his skit, his whole comedy thing. Fell short on a lot of different levels. Like, this one says this one's won a 1, 2, 3, like 6 film festivals. I don't know how. I didn't like this one at all. This is definitely probably like an acquired taste of a film. Wasn't for me. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one. Vote to sell.
All right. Next, we have Clown in a Cornfield. Is this independent?
No. No. Based off the books, I don't know exactly who did it, but
Okay.
it actually had a really big budget. Had a release at the theaters.
I mean, overall, this was a decent movie. Again, typical, you know, around Halloween, a bunch of teenagers get together. They want to have a party. They have it out in the middle, you know, of nowhere, in a barn, around and a cornfield surrounds it. One of the teens, his dad is, I guess, the mayor. You know, so they're very uppity, and apparently something happened years ago that his son, the mayor's son, was involved in, and his friends, and a factory burnt, part of a factory burnt, and it closed it. So his dad basically hates him now because he's caused all this turmoil in the town, even though there was, you know, an investigation, and it was determined that it was not the kid's fault. It was just some faulty wiring or something. Well, long story short, they have this Halloween party, and, you know, a clown comes out of the cornfield, and he's after these kids, right?
Things get crazy from there.
Things get crazy, yeah. It's almost like I don't know, kind of like a cult situation, and
yeah.
I mean, yeah, it just kind of, I guess, havoc ensues is how you want to word it or whatever. But there's a new girl that has moved into town, and she's lost her mom, and she's just with her dad now, and he's thinks she's fallen into the wrong crowd, and so it's just a whole story.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, we won't give a whole lot away because it's a newer film, but yeah, you think it's going to go left, and it does go left for a little bit, and then all of a sudden it takes a right turn, and I didn't see the turn coming. I was actually pleasantly surprised. The gore and stuff in this one's good. This is another great 2025 horror film. Again, I've said it before, I think we're done with the whole Conjuring aspect. Like, I mean, possession and ghost films are cool, but that's pretty much all the horror that we had. But now all of a sudden this year we've had Hard Eyes, we've had Strangers Part 2, which, you know, is at theaters now. We've had this. We've had our time of like bloody, gory, getting back into that style of horror. And surprisingly enough, all these have been decent. Are they great? Are they as good as some of the 80s films? Absolutely not. But they're still really good, really enjoyable for me. Vote to keep.
Okay.
Next up, one that I've never actually seen. I've seen the cover for this one 1,000,001 times, and that is Halloween Night from the Asylum. And I just have to say, holy shit. This will probably be in my October selection every year from here on out. This film was a lot better than I expected. Again, with it coming from the Asylum, their films are very hit or miss, especially off of their budgets. But this one was super good. So basically you have this man and a woman and a little boy in a home, and the boy is under the like under a table or under the couch, and basically he sees his mother get assaulted, and then they kill her, and you come to find out that the dad actually had a part of it. I don't know if he owed someone money or exactly what the aspect was there, but basically they find the little boy, and when they go to shoot him, they miss him and they hit a pipe, and the pipe busts and it burns him. And so he basically gets locked up in an insane asylum. The dad winds up putting the mother in a room and boarding up and papering over that room, and then kills himself. And so all these years later, the orderlies in this place are kind of making fun of and everything at the boy, and he winds up just brutally slaying them and escaping. And his whole thing is he's just going to go home. He wants to find his mom. And he goes home, but at home there is a massive Halloween party going on. And of course all of the drunk and high teenagers are just getting in his way, and he takes his revenge. The kills are pretty good. Again, it's low budget, so they're not great. But this was super fun. I had a ton of fun with this one. For me, definitely vote to keep.
Okay. Next up, we have The Guest. I have no idea who this actor is, but it's actually a pretty good movie. So basically, the guy on the cover is in the military, and he gets discharged. He goes to one of his best friend's family's home first because he got killed while they were in war. And they take him in because he doesn't know where he's going to go. So he ends up staying there with the family, and the gentleman, the soldier that died, had of course, the mom and dad, and then a sister that was, a teenager, and then a younger boy sibling. I think he was, I don't know, probably 13 or 14 in the film. He gets bullied at school, so the soldier is all about teaching him some self-defense and teaching his friends a lesson, or not friends, I guess, the kids that bully him, teaching them a lesson. And so he starts making some headway with the family, and they start including him in more and more. He gets kind of close to the teenage sister. He goes to like a party with her. And so, well, all in all, the closer he gets to the family, the more strange things start happening. So then they start questioning, is he who he says he is? And was he really honorably discharged? What happened with him? And so there's a lot of questions flying around, and then I don't know, I guess the family starts figuring things out.
The actor on the cover, that's what I was looking up, is Dan Stevens. Yeah, I had seen this before, but when we went to Horror Hound, I missed out on the second sight edition. It went out of print. And Orbit DVD actually had a copy for like $65, which was not bad considering the 4K box when it came out, I think was like $50. So it actually didn't go up that much in price for them to have it. So snagged it real quickly, had never seen it. Super good. This is not really a horror film, it's more like a thriller, but for me, super good. I enjoy it. Definitely vote to keep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, so we've got 4 things left. We're going to rapid fire these to get through this because I see that time ticking down over there on the camera. And then we will give some announcements right here to end the episode. But I'm going to swap these actually. First up here, and there's not a good way to show this cover. I don't think we'll get in trouble. I mean, there's no nudity, but it's Vice Academy 1 through 6. So when Vinegar Syndrome released this, a lot of the times Vinegar Syndrome is impulse buys. Can't even lie. And when I saw this, so Vinegar Syndrome had released a box set that had 1 through 3. And it, in Vinegar Syndrome lore, is a box set that sells for about $150 on eBay. It's extremely expensive. And so when they re-released this and added the next 3 films, I was like, well, we'll get that. I'll check them out. If I don't like them, hopefully it'll carry that same kind of price tag in a year or so that the old box does. However, when we got these, as you can see, this is still sealed. We found one of these online and we checked it out, and it just wasn't very good. This is basically Police Academy with jokes that don't hit the same. The jokes fall super flat. It's got a bunch of women who just want to show their breasts. There's not any need for it. It's definitely like like USA Up All Night, like that style of comedy where it was, they could kind of blur the boobs, but it was more of an adult time. Up All Night was a 90s thing. But yeah, for me, this just fell flat. I didn't care for it. We actually didn't even watch 2 through 6. We just watched part 1. So for me, this one, vote to sell.
Okay. Next is Big Bad Wolf. I cannot remember that guy's name. I can't remember names today. Anyway, he played the bad guy in Kindergarten Cop. I can't remember his name, but he is he's the wolf in the movie. And so, long story short, he is married with a stepson. The movie starts out, he and some other soldiers or hunters, are in, I don't know, they're in another country hunting. And the lady that he's married to now, her husband gets killed. And they never did really figure out by what. Long story short, he comes in, saves the day, remarries the wife, and has the stepson. And he takes off a lot, and it later is found out in the movie he takes off a lot when there is a full moon. And the stepson actually steals a key from him to a cabin in the woods that he has. And even though on the way, him and his friends are on the way to this cabin for the weekend, and someone's car were stuck on the side of the road, they stopped to help him, and he was like, hey, don't go up there. If you do, stay inside. Well, long story short, this cabin is there, and this is kind of his hideout for when there is a full moon. So you can imagine the havoc that ensues when there are people that stay in or around his cabin. Even though he tries to be good, it kind of gets out of hand. So, but there's a lot more to it, but that's a kind of shortened up version. So,
yeah. Guy's name that you were talking about is Richard Tyson. This also has Kimberly J. Brown from Halloween Town. This also has cameos by David Naughton and Clint Howard as well. This was one that I bought. I didn't actually buy this film. I bought a collection and it was in it, and I basically saved it out because of the cover. And I'm glad I did. I had a lot of fun with this one. Definitely a kind of a little bit of a different take on the werewolf. He can still talk, and overall I enjoyed it. The gore and stuff was cool in it. Had some pretty decent kills, and I enjoyed it. Thought it was a fun time for me personally. Vote to keep. Alright, last up in my stack, again, I'm not really going to go over these that much. We're basically just going to show it off. That is Critters 1 through 4 from Arrow Video. I basically got this because I like the artwork and stuff a lot more. Plus it has the book in there with it, which I don't really read a lot of the books that come with this stuff, but it's always nice to have it. And overall, just a much nicer collection piece than the Scream Factory box. So bought these. We watched these not too long ago. Critters are basically just fuzzy aliens from the sky that like to feed on human flesh. So Critters 1 through 4, I enjoy 1 through 3 a lot. 4 is it's just okay. but a super fun series all the same. So definitely vote to keep.
Okay. Last one is Cutter's Club with Tony Todd. Basically, Tony Todd is a professor. He teaches medical. I guess he's a doctor, really. He teaches a lot of medical stuff, including surgery, to medical students. And so he has something happened at some point at the school, and he kind of gets sent to the basement. He doesn't teach classes anymore. He has a few students that have kind of reached out to him, and he kind of mentors and tutors them. And he developed something called the Cutter's Club. So basically he's trying to, I really honestly don't even remember exactly what they were trying to do, but they were basically trying to make a human be able to come back to life. And so, he has subjects he gets from morgues and things. And so, long story short, there is one that was an ex-love interest of his. She was a student of his at one time. And so he tries to get her to come into the Cutter's Club with them. And she has a boyfriend who is also in medical school. And it just becomes a really kind of a tit-for-tat situation and turns into a cluster.
Yep.
That's a quick summary.
Yep. I mean, overall, this was released in 2025, but this is an older film. You can tell by the look of Tony Todd in this one. It's before he got so sick. I really enjoyed this movie, though. For me, I don't really have much to add on what Leigh said. I thought it was good for what it was. I mean, it's a full moon film. You're not going to get a cinematic masterpiece. But overall, I thought it was a fun film for what it is. And for me, vote to keep. All right. So this was a little bit of a bigger episode. Like I said, we actually watched quite a bit, several combined watches and then several watches just by myself. We did, however, only have 3 sales. So we do have Vice Academy 1 through 6. We do have The Cannibal Comedian. And then we do also have Robo Warriors that is going up for sale. Everything else we're going to keep. A lot of those DVDs and stuff, I've had a blast going back through watching some of this older like direct-to-DVD stuff. But all that being said, this week we will be leaving for Scarefest, so we hope to see everybody there. Like I said, Slasher Nurse is playing Saturday, so if you have tickets, go check that out. It was a pretty fun watch, and as always, come see Horrorland Media. I mean, where else are you going to go? We've got all your physical media needs. We've also got our 3 films. We will be debuting Mothershucker 2 for sale there. We also have Twisted Gables, which is a first-time sale in Lexington. So come out, come see us, come buy some movies, come buy our movies, and we hope to see you there. We will, however, keep trekking on that road to Halloween. We've got a pre-filmed episode that will be up Thursday. I honestly can't remember what our topic was this week because, as I just said, it was a pre-filmed episode. It's going to be a fun one, though. I do remember it was fun because we filmed 2. Both of them were fun. One of them was a little
funnier,
a little harder to pick our films for. But like I said, I can't remember which is which. I don't remember what's going up this week. But we will get that up for you guys on Thursday, even though we will be traveling. So that's going to do it for this episode of To Keep or Not to Keep. Like I said, join us Thursday for Welcome to Horrorland, and hopefully we'll see you this weekend in Lexington, Kentucky for Scarefest weekend. We appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
To keep or not to keep.